ABC6 News begins right now.
Welcome to ABC6 Weekend on the Rhode Island News Channel. I'm Suzanne Pajot. It is Saturday, August 20th. We'll get to your top stories in just a minute, but first, Matt Lagore is live in the Weather Center with your first forecast. Matt. Thanks, Matt. Providence police are investigating a fatal stabbing early this morning. It happened around 1 a.m. at 7 Osborne Street. The victim is a 38-year-old man who was pronounced dead at Rhode Island Hospital. Police would not comment on a suspect or a motive and are releasing little other information at this time. An emotional ceremony in Bristol last night as the parents of a teen killed in a drag racing accident continue to keep their son's memory alive. ABC6's Wendy Cicchetti has more. Scary moments for some Taunton residents as a gas leak forces them from their homes in the middle of the night. A gas main broke at around 4 this morning on Summer Street. Police say about 15 families had to evacuate in a quarter-of-a-mile radius, and 40 nearby communities were affected by the leak. The gas main broke when a coupling that was just installed the day before came apart. The pipes are fixed now. Luckily, no one was hurt. Also in Taunton, a vandalism spree leaves a series of flat tires. Police say dozens of cars were hit, and it is not the first time. 20 cars were found there with tires slashed about 2 weeks ago. ABC6 reporter Julie Ruditsky has this story.
2 new tires, and these tires are only 8 months old, as you can see, right? How the tread on it still is good tread.
An unpleasant surprise for the owner of this white pickup truck.
Especially when I planned on taking my truck yesterday morning for work, and I'm glad I have a car.
Sometime Thursday night, vandals started slashing away at tires up and down Whittington and Washington streets. Taunton police have no for many residents. In the newsroom, Julie Ruditsky, ABC6 News.
And in more news from Taunton, police there are upping their reward, hoping to recover 32 guns stolen from a sporting goods store. Yesterday afternoon, Chief Raymond Oberg announced that the reward will now be $5,000 for information leading to arrests and convictions in the case. So far, 2 suspects have been arrested in connection with the break-in at Carr's Sporting Goods, but just 6 of the 32 handguns have been recovered. The chief says officers from Taunton Police, the ATF, and the U.S. Marshal's Office are investigating. Rhode Island's landmark lead paint lawsuit will not get a new judge. The Sherwin-Williams Company had asked the Rhode Island Supreme Court to remove the presiding judge from the case, saying he had a conflict of interest since the judge owns a house built before 1978 when lead paint was commonly used. The class action lawsuit claims the paint companies created a public nuisance when they sold lead-based paints 2 generations ago. Now, this is the second trial in the case. The first ended in a hung jury. This second is set to begin October 17th. Tall ships and military pageantry kicked off the annual Maritime Festival yesterday at Conley's Wharf at the Providence Piers. Lieutenant Governor Charles Fogarty and Major General Reginald Centracchio were on hand for the ribbon cutting. This year's festival theme is Reclaiming the Harbor. The festival hosts are working to redevelop the Providence Pier area along Allens Ave.
And I think in years to come, we're going to look back at this day as the start of the revitalization of this part of the city. And it's going to mean tremendous opportunities in terms of economic development, in terms of jobs, in terms of reacquainting our state with the history of its maritime heritage.
The developer will soon turn the festival grounds into a new mixed-use waterfront project. Maritime festivities continue today and tomorrow with live entertainment, cooking demonstrations, and much, much more. And the tall ships Providence and the HMS Bounty served as a venue to honor Major General Reginald Centracchio yesterday. Centracchio is set to retire September 1st from the Rhode Island National Guard after 48 years of military service. At the ceremony, the Providence Maritime Heritage Foundation honored the Major General with a retirement gift, a painting of the Continental sloop Providence. Making headlines around the nation, a major verdict against the maker of the prescription painkiller Vioxx. A jury in Angleton, Texas found Merck, the maker of the pill, liable for the death of a 59-year-old Texas man. His widow got more than $250 million in damages, but it will be significantly reduced because Texas has a cap on pain and suffering awards. The pharmaceutical company argued that the man died of clogged arteries rather than a Vioxx-induced heart attack, but the prosecution pointed out that the victim was in great shape. He ran marathons and even taught aerobics. The company currently faces more than 4,000 such lawsuits across the country. Merck says it will appeal this verdict. Bad news for striking Northwest Airlines mechanics. Flight attendants and pilots say they will not join them on the picket lines. The airline's 44,000 mechanics walked off the job at midnight after contract talks in Washington failed. The mechanics refused to take a big pay cut and would not agree to new layoffs that would have cut their numbers almost in half. Northwest is the nation's 4th largest airline. It will keep flying using replacements. Space Shuttle Discovery is slated to be back in Florida today. The shuttle spent the last couple of days piggybacking on a modified jumbo jet, hopscotching its way 2,200 miles across the country from Edwards Air Force Base in California. Discovery's landing earlier this month was diverted to California because of bad weather in Florida.
Still to come on ABC6 News.